actually carry out geophysical survey in so many states in the country.
Politically, in 1987, that was when we do what you now call the zero-party election.
The things you use to earn money are there. It's just for you to know how to think of developing them.
Representing the people is you being a trophy of dividend of democracy to the people. The people are the beneficiaries.
The state now, the environment is quite friendly. The foundation is laid for even foreign investors, other investors within the Nigerian economy to come.
In terms of holistic bill for the country, the one we developed most was police reform. I never forget it. I am still passionate. I still believe that this country, for it to be the country that it should be, we first have to first of all deal with the police. Police and policing. Police and policing. If we're able to get it right, where everybody will be scared that should I do anything wrong, I will be arrested and prosecuted. By who? Not by government. Prosecution against crime does not come by individual. As I am now, God forbid, I give you a dirty slap and I beat you up. Okay. It is not you that I offended. I have offended the land. And the police will come after me. Even when you don't want to, they will say no. So if you have a good police, 90% of the crime that is existing in the country, both fraud, both corruption, both militancy, both banditry, name it, will be curbed. And once these things are curbed and people have fear that should I do this, this is what will come after me. This country will change overnight. Wow. Before you now start talking about infrastructure, talking about road, talking about schools, then let's not talk about our philosophy first. Let's talk about our attitude towards this 100 million I am seeing. Let's believe that this 100 million I am seeing, 99 million in it is to be used to work for what it is meant for. As opposed to 99 million there, let me see how I can corner it. Try to corner 1 million inside, you go in for it. And once it happens to you, happens to him, the four of us will sit up. Who makes that happen? Police. It is after police have finished their work that the judiciary can now actually take it up and deliver justice. But the policing has to be strong, first and foremost. So I was very passionate in police reform, and that's what I pursued, one of the areas I pursued. The second thing I pursued in the National Assembly was housing reform. And you can see the FHA, how it was developed. I was subcommittee chairman of FHA and all that. I also believe that, look, people need to be housed. As for food, Nigerians had a way of finding something into their stomach. So Maslow's law of hierarchy of needs, we could take care of food somehow, one way or the other, We could take care of clothing one way or the other. I mean, come on, you can put up anything and we are fine to some extent. But roof over our heads. Imagine where someone, like a young lady like you have to cough out about 500,000 to pay for an accommodation per annum. How much are you earning? And all. So housing was a very major preoccupation in our activities in National Assembly. And we pursued it to a proper end, maybe not a logical end, but at least we pursued it to a significant end. And that's why you also see a lot of mass housing that were going on and all that until when these people came and everything went bizarre. We don't know what's going on anymore. At least we can't lay hands on them.
That's a whole lot. Sir, from 2015 to 2019, you were appointed a special advisor to the governor of Delta State, and on National Assembly and the governorship relationship.
Yes, intergovernmental
What
affairs.
has been your forte? What has
Well,
made you excel?
the job was to make sure I monitor the activities of the National Assembly with respect to how it affects Delta State. That I think I did very well. Cooperation of our colleagues. If I wasn't much, that's like my family house,
wow.
you know. So we make sure there was a strong cooperation between the National Assembly and the state government. We make sure there were not laws or bills that would be obnoxious or would be counterproductive or counter our interests in Delta and all that. We make sure, and the ones that came up like that, we fought it vigorously.
Okay.
Most of these things we don't hear about it because that's our family. So we know how to resolve our issues at night. Before morning, you see everywhere is fine. And people are happy. So let's not dwell much on that.
Okay.
Then intergovernmental, we took care of government agencies, government people, government things, with how it affects the governor. The governor is not around. I am there to stay in for him in many sectors, in many areas, in many sessions. You know, I go represent him, go talk for him, go hear for him, and go take messages for him, go take messages from him, and all, you know. So, and then we make sure that Governor Okowa's brand is also well known to the power center, well known to Nigeria, because he has a brand. So we make sure that we are not the ones who consume the brand alone, that we take it out there for the consumption of the whole country, especially in the epicenter called Abuja.
Okay.
So those were part of our assignment, and I think we did creditably well in that respect.
Okay. Considering now, looking at the current situation in the country today, the issue of insecurity, unemployment, to the escalating inflammatory trends, you know, in all of that, in your own opinion, what do you think led us to this point?
Police. In other climes, when you hear police sound, when you hear police sound, you match your brake and stop wherever you are. Stop. After God takes police in every society. So had you had a good policing? Tell me how someone will wake up. Go and carry somebody, carry 10 people, carry 20 people, and carry them away. But today, even when you hear see police come inside, so what? Because they are ill-equipped, they are ill-managed, they are ill-respected. So that's what led to it. Sometimes even the criminals are even more afraid of vigilantes and co more than they are of the police. So because you do not have police, your place, your open spaces became ungoverned, became uncontrolled. And an idle mind, just like an idle space, is a devil's workshop. Crime is crime all over the world. There's hunger everywhere in the world. If you are looking for where people are hungry and poor, come, let me take you to California, to a place called Compton, in the heart of Los Angeles. You come and see squalor. Yet, at the sound of siren, everybody ducks. Because you know that when you are apprehended, you'll be dealt with, you'll be jailed, you'll be prosecuted. But here, nothing. And I believe that once that sector is well managed, they up their game, make them be like police all over the world, this crime will disappear.
You have been a federal representative and, of course, a special advisor to the sitting governor of the Delta States. You know, aside policing, what other remedy would you render to the current situation of the country?
Okay. Talking at a macro level, I would think that the country needs a rebirth. If we were a building, the building has defects. And when a building has defects, there are two things you do. one of two things, or even both. You do what the engineers call underpinning. You scrape areas that are bad, put metals and patch them back. They have big cracks. So the country needs to be scraped. Areas this that have held us down. Criminality, sectionalism, tribalism, corruption. I always look at corruption as a derivative of defect. Corruption is not a sickness. It is a symptom. So if you take care of malaria, you don't have headache anymore. So corruption is like headache. If you take care of certain things, like this underpinning I'm talking about, make Nigerians have a country. We package the entity called Nigeria. Because when you talk about the structure, a lot of people will get panicky, thinking that the food that is on their table, you are about to take it. The cash cow, you are about to remove it from them. Not knowing that if you rework the country, if you rework the house, make sectors of the country, sections of the country, produce what can run them. Be proud in what they are producing. Develop what they are producing. Grow what they are producing. And maximize opportunities that emanate from what they are producing. So I think that the country needs to be reworked. Okay. That way, people will find dignity in being part of this work. People will find dignity in being identified with a product, a brand that they have comparative advantage over. In the course of doing that, they will create room for, first of all, dignity, appreciation of labor, productivity of labor, outcome of labor, and what do you call that? Prosperity. And in the course of doing that, everybody is mobilized. Everybody gets involved. Every hand is on the deck. That will take away unemployment. That will change an idle mind to an active mind. That will not diminish the devil's workshop, which is, in other words, known as crime and criminality. And you have a new country. Just a little switch here, a little twist here, a little twerk here, and that's it. But the political will to have this done, the mentality of leadership to have this done is what is lacking.
Okay, still on the states of the country, do you think the issue with the management of the country is from its leaders or from the lead?
There's a common saying that when I was a kid, I reasoned like a kid. I used to think that the problem was in the hand of the leadership.
Okay.
At the time, I started thinking, no, the problem is in the hand of Nigerians. But now that I've gone through the wrong of leadership, I've served in government, at least someone who has served in the National Assembly, you wouldn't say that that is small.
Obviously, of course.
And I found out that Nigerians are very ductile and malleable. There's a theory we call in chemistry when you're talking about characteristics of metals, qualities of metals. You describe them as some metals that are more ductile and malleable. That's metals you can spread into sheet or beaten into wire.
Okay.
I found out that Nigerians are, fortunately, Nigerians are very easy to coordinate, to manage, to whip into line. If they can repose confidence in you, if you give them reason to repose confidence and trust in you, Nigerians will follow you, they will obey you, they will listen to you. So then I transfer the responsibility again back to leadership. And in the course of talking about this leadership, I also went further to push the responsibility to a leader.
Okay.
Let God give us one person who will wake up on Monday morning and say, fellow Nigerians, enough is enough. Take a few persons here, scapegoat them. Scapegoat here. Take a few sectors, turn it around, scapegoat them. Take wild, big decisions. And be ready for the fight and the war that will come behind it. But let me tell you, not so that you think that the war will be strong. The whole Nigerians will come right behind and give the person the support, such that those who are going to wage the war, Nigerians will gather themselves and fight those people on the leaders' behalf. And you have a good country. Like we have everything it takes: human resources, mental resources, information resources, education resources, exposure resources, energy resources, sanctimonial resources.
Okay, so now we're going into a new regime after a maximum 8 years rule of the present regime. You know, where do you see the state of the nation going?
My hunches tell me, my warehouse of information and knowledge tell me that we cannot go degenerate any further. Once this crop of people who are living the affairs of the country leave, the country will not go worse than we have gotten to.
Okay.
I think we are at the lowest ebb. Yes. Looking at the candidates that are coming, there's not one of them that I think will run the country the way it's been run thus far. I do not think there's any one of these candidates that was going to be the president of Nigeria, and his ADC will be from his tribe. His head of customs will be from his tribe. His head of defense will be from his tribe. His NSA, National Security Advisor, will be from his tribe. His Minister of Defense will be from his tribe. His FIRO, that's Inland Revenue, will be from his tribe. His NNPC, head of NNPC, will be from his place. Head of Petroleum will be from his place. Head of Finance, Minister of Finance will be from his place. I can continue. You know why? I'm not saying that they are not good Nigerians. But let me tell you, idiosyncrasies matter. Pattern of development matter. Information matters. If I were to run this place as a country, and you don't have 5 sections of the country involved in the management of the country, you are going to be denied the information. The culture and tradition of Section 2. There's nobody who it is his coming from his bowel, who knows it, who feels it, who can espouse it, who can discuss it, who can inform it. You don't have such person on the table. Section 2, 3, nobody from there. Section 4, nobody from there. So you will be guessing. This is what the Southeast would like. This is what the Igbos would have wished for. This is what they would think. But if you have an Igbo person on the table, the way he will bring the information concerning Igbo is different from you that is from afar. Making a guess. So you find out that the country became disjointed and became disunited because there were no genuine, natural representation of the sections of the country in the parlor, on the dining table, where the workings and the running of the country was discussed. Even our Lord Jesus Christ, when he was assembling the 12 disciples, he didn't bring them from one town. He took people from different idiosyncrasies, different tribes, different knowledge, different ideas. He had a treasurer, he had a fighter, he even had a Wayo man as one of them. So he could have a balanced summation of views. I do not think any of these three will go that direction. That is what I think the first thing I saw that brought this country to where we are today.
Okay, so before we go, how about family? Husband, father?
I hate to say that my father is passed on. Yeah, I was extremely close to him. He did everything together. But he's passed on. He lived a good life. I mean, if you were in Ogbash very well, you would have known him
Very much.
So he was a good man. So a lot of his legacies are the pedestal we are standing on today. And then a lot of the fears is still in us are also part of what is guiding us today. And then everybody in Ogwashoku was either his brother or his sister or his cousin. So you go to this house, it's my brother. You go to the other one, it's my mama brother. You go to this one, it's my grandmother's brother. You go to that one, it's my cousin. So to go to the clothes. We learned how to keep everybody together as one family. That's why I find it very difficult to hurt anybody from my place. Because no sooner than you went 1 meter away, you meet a cousin. Now, my mom was quiet, easygoing, and soft. So, not entirely too consequential when it comes to the wildlife and all that my father led. You know, she was in the background, doing things quietly and calmly, but she was the mother of everybody. You know, so her own content is also part of us. Then I have siblings who are, by the grace of God, they are doing okay in a lot of sectors and everywhere. So thank God for them, for their lives. I have a wife, I'm married. Yeah, I have a wife that I practically grew up with, developed with. So she's part of me, completely part of me. So I respect and hold in very high esteem. Then I have kids, you know. I have very fantastic children. God gave me very fantastic wife and wonderful children, you know. I have 5 children. Yeah. They are schooling all over the place.
Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Wow, such a personality with a different and interesting one out there. You know, this man has been able to impact positively in the lives of many, especially lives of those from the Anocha or Shimili in his own constituency. To be part of your personality program, The Otoscope, is important. You follow and subscribe to our different social media handles right on your screen. And of course, on behalf of the producer and the entire production crew, I say thank you for riding with us on this particular edition of The Otoscope. My name is Isioma Adigwe. See you next week.